internet, so, I know we're not grumpy. Yeah,
We get no respect. That's like the internet. Get no respect.
Absolutely. We were supposed to do one thing, but we'll do that after this. At this time,
Well, here's the irony about actually,
this is old Cam.
and this is not a spring chick. Sometimes we get in these moods because, as you know, we are part of the internet media, and
oh God, they do not. A lot of old world companies do not like this. I mean, if you're internet, you might as well be a bug that they want to try to stomp on and get rid of.
Well, here's the challenge: it's almost they're like protecting. It's the old guard. They're protecting what they have. It's like tradition, the glass ceiling.
It's an old boys club, pure and simple. It's got to do with bean counters run the old world. They cannot figure out how to measure things on the internet, so they don't like they do not like what they can't measure, because they can't tell people, well, they've got 40 million links, but that doesn't mean anything to the people that are basically buying time from them.
Right.
What's 40 million links? Well, we had 21,000 videos out there with our names on
syndicated
them.
video that keeps getting copied over and over
Yeah,
and over.
we got videos on 21,000 different sites. That's a heck of a... You tell me how many newspapers are seen in 21,000 places, or how many TV stations are seen in 21,000. How many books how many magazines are carried? We're carried in 21,000 in about 140 different languages.
Actually, I one time met somebody. They said, "Oh, so you're Monty Bubbles?" I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Because I would always be looking for things on the internet, and Monty Bubbles kept coming up."
We're at the top of everything. I mean, we're basically at the top of the page in almost everything we do. We're almost, well, here you might say, well, this video's only got 40 hits. Well, yeah, those are 40 people taking our video and putting it on other sites.
I didn't know where else it went. Because I also hear it from people that have done interviews. They said, "Do you know how many Google alerts?" Because he said it keeps popping up all over these places. I said, "Yeah." I said, "We're syndicated."
Yeah, and like people, they say, well, your website doesn't have any advertisements on it. Well, yeah, it doesn't have any advertisements. I don't want any advertisements. The website is there as sort of something for people to go to and look at. What we do is we do things online. I mean, we produce programming. We got lots of. We just produced an hour and a half special last week. We did an hour and a half special. So what do? That's what we do. We also supply. We have the most 3D programming in the world available.
Well, actually, part of it is they're watching us, and if you're following us, you know what we do.
Yeah. If you don't know, you really don't like what we do. If you see it,
or
no, we do things.
Or you just watch one thing.
No, we tried for about the 9 millionth time. If we were broadcast, if we're doing this out of say Boston right now, how would we be dressed?
Well, we'd probably be dressed in clothes that would be pertain to Boston.
We're Southern California. One of the things that a lot of people appreciate is the fact that we do things in a very casual Southern California laid-back style, because they got crappy weather. They have crappy weather. We went to the beach yesterday. Where else are you going to the beach?
Well, that's true, and see, part of it is, it's either one way or the other. Some people don't care, but some think you should be dressed a certain way if you're talking news, and you should deliver it in a certain manner. Others, for us, we represent, let's just say, they'd rather be, more relaxed, easygoing. We show the California lifestyle when we cover news.
Yeah, and we do it. We dress respectfully. If we were allowed to do the Academy Awards, which doesn't like online, if we were allowed to do the Rose Parade, which doesn't like online, we could do Universal, that doesn't like online. But I think it's so funny with Universal, because Universal is now owned by Comcast, and Comcast isn't online. Basically, their money comes from online services. But,
actually, one of the trends that we are seeing is, there's video. Actually, you know what we're seeing? First of all, when organizations start to have a really bad time or they're in decline, they only let in the media, the traditional media that they know over and over and over, that's dedicated just to their portion of the world, right?
Plus the fact it can't be instantaneous. See, a few years ago, we went to a thing. And basically, the TV stations all we have is our computer and our modem. Our little wireless so we could get on. We beat everybody in the whole bloody world by about 10 10 minutes. Because they have to get everything of theirs, everything up, get a signal that they send the thing out. All we had to do was to turn the computer on and then just type it out that it happened.
But see, part of it is, I think one of the trends that we're starting to see is before they buy up broadcast rights. So sometimes, like they might be open to other writers, it's only open to NBC and NBC affiliates.
Yeah.
It's only open to ABC and ABC affiliates.
Yeah, and what we were talking about before we were so rudely interrupted by phones that aren't supposed to be in this room. But no, they basically niche themselves in. Like for instance, some organizations basically sell all the television rights, all of the online rights too.
Right, and they do niche themselves in. Oh, actually, you know who's a great example of that is ESPN.
Yeah.
Because ESPN, as you know, is on cable, and then they have their own online.
Yeah,
But they have niched themselves in so much that
they can't, online people, for instance, I'm on ESPN's and X things press list. I can't go to it. I'm on their press list and cannot go to their events. Well, you're online. Yes, but I'm on your press list. Well, I'm sorry, but you're online. They automatically eliminate me even though I'm on their press list for all these events. They send me the things out telling me, inviting me there, oh, you're online. See, that eliminates you to a lot of these things.
sometimes it's the fear that you might, either A, somebody else has already bought out the rights.
Yeah.
Number two, it's the fear that you're going to show it right away and do live video. But
Yeah.
all they have to do is tell you not to, although
There are rules.
the portion about that is there's the people that don't pay
It's
attention
the people
to that.
that don't, but the problem is, if you worried about the people that don't, the broadcast industry would have never existed. I come from an era, I flat out, from an era where a newsman would be dressed from up here. Why do you think the guys wore jackets and ties? Because a lot of the news people were, this is Bob, Cowboy Bob. This is your friendly chicken. This is your clown. They were wearing, from the waist down, they were wearing outfits. It's why you didn't have legs showing in those days. The desks were closed. They stand behind a desk, sit behind a desk, or stand behind a podium that covered the fact. From here down, they were wearing some costume from a children's show. Or because, like I was at a little station, everybody did everything, so basically you're handling camera, and then as soon as you get, you grab, the guy that came off camera gets the camera, you're wearing jeans or shorts.
Yeah.
And basically because those rooms we did not know air conditioning in the 1950s, folks.
Well, the funny part is the more things progress, the more they stay the same.
Yeah. But it's the same bloody people that founded the industry when I started are running the industry today. They can't, they're locked in to something that ceased to exist 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, the people that basically created demographics, for instance, are my age today, and they can't understand, well, why doesn't anybody pay attention? I have all the, I do all the spending.
You outgrew the demographic.
You outgrew the demographics. Women you're only allowed to get certain age. If you're too young or you don't do that, you don't count in this country. Mm-hmm. It does not make any difference. Also, if you happen to have a program with a star that's my age in it, say like Dick Van Dyke and Diagnosis Murder, and it hits the same crowd that Friends is hitting. Well, he's an old guy. So you go to the young guys they're hitting the very same audience. I did some work years ago on Daniel Boone, and it's basically like Fess Parker got pissed off because they bounced Daniel Boone so that because Daniel Boone wasn't doing as well against the Waltons as he should have been doing. Well, Daniel Boone was beating the hell out of the Waltons every week. Mm-hmm. Just kicking their butts every week. And guess what demographic category he was kicking their butts in? What today they call the prime demographic category, because the people grew up with Fess Parker. They were young, watching Fess Parker a few years earlier playing Davy Crockett. They grew older and they were now that prime audience, so they watched Daniel Boone. So they replaced it with Flip Wilson, who basically was good but wasn't Daniel Boone. And Flip Wilson went off after a few years. But we're just in a pissed off mood. We've had a bad week because we're internet.
Well, and the funny part is where do people go? They go to the internet when they want to find something out.
Because the internet is like, let's put it this way, if Alexander the Great would have had access to the internet, the Library of Alexandria would have been on the internet.